Hello, 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 and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream happening every Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's live. So, with it being live, there's always mistakes, there's always little ooh-oohs. And so, I was a little late today because I had one of those because it's Mercury retrograde. Yay. So if your communications have been off, if your technology has been having problems, if you've been having communication issues or travel issues, blame it on Mercury retrograde because that's what's going on. And so that's one of the things I talk about on the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream, all about the good vibes. It's important to know what the energies are. When I'm talking about good vibes, we're talking about energy. We're talking about our emotional energy because that's how we can tell where we're vibrating. The lower vibrations of fear, shame, guilt, hatred, anger, all those are lower vibrations. And when you are feeling those feelings, you are in the lower vibrations. But what I like to call the good vibes, all of the emotions of love, peace, happiness, abundance, prosperity, uh, uh, joyfulness, gratitude, acceptance, all of these good vibes, when we strive to be in the state of these good vibes, we flourish, we thrive. And so that's why the motto is right, raise your vibe and thrive. So I am streaming to all sorts of places, several different Facebook places, pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you are watching from any of these places, you can actually put something in the comments, any comments you have, any question, anything you want to share with me, and I can put it on the screen. I can see it and I can put it on the screen if you'd like. So I would invite you to do that. And happy April. This is the first show for the month of April. Can you believe it? We're into the fourth month of 2025, year of the snake. It's been pretty intense so far, especially coming out of these two eclipses we have. So while we're talking about astrology, let's get into the astrological news. So, we are actually in a waxing moon phase, meaning the moon is getting bigger. We had this super new moon, partial solar eclipse on March 29th, just this past Saturday in the morning. And, eclipses are times of big changes. And you don't necessarily see that change the day of the eclipse, but it's setting the stage for the next 6 months. So you'll see things changing over the next 6 months. So it's good to know this information so that you can kind of work with the energies and be in sync with Mother Nature, with the cycles of nature, so that you're in the flow. Because if you're not, you're resisting, you're swimming upstream, and everything's harder. And there's no reason that life has to be hard unless you believe it's supposed to be hard, because our beliefs always trump everything that we do. That's why mindset and knowing what our beliefs are is so important. And as we, evolve in life, we're we're being aware, being made aware of what are our beliefs that are creating the reality we have, right? And if you find a belief that doesn't serve you, you can cancel it out, but you always want to replace it with a new one because the universe hates a void. So, we are sovereign people. We are in charge of our lives. It's up to us. We're the masters of our own ships. So it's up to us to decide, what is it that we want to create in our lives and what do we want to believe? And we create from our beliefs, because our beliefs, if they're limiting, then our world is limited, right? So, anyway, a little bit about that. So, new moon happens and we're in the waxing phase, and we're coming up on the full moon on April 12th. And it won't be an eclipse or anything crazy like that. It's actually going to be in the sign of Libra. And the full moon in Libra emphasizes themes of balance, harmony, and relationships. So, this lunar event encourages reflection on partnerships and the equilibrium, because it is the scales, right? The Libra is the scales. Um, Equilibrium between personal desires and the needs of others. And so we're always balancing that, aren't we? How much we give and how much we're receiving. And we're always in this flow of giving and receiving. So the other thing that's coming up, so we're building up to that full moon on the 12th. So just be aware of that. Mark your calendars. I always like to mark when the new moons are and when the full moons are, so we know where we are in the cycle of the lunar cycle. But the other, it's all these different planets have different energies. So Mercury has been retrograde since March 15th. The good news is that in about just a few more days, right? Today's the third. In about 4 days, we have um, Mercury going direct on April 7th at 7 o'clock in the morning. So if you've been holding off on signing contracts, which is not advised during a Mercury retrograde, you can do it after 7:07, April 7th. Sign those contracts, initiate those new projects. Again, Mercury retrograde, the way to use that energy, the way to be more in sync with that energy is to finish up, um, old projects, to tie up loose ends and that kind of thing. So that's how the best way to use that Mercury retrograde energy, as opposed to being, oh my God, it's Mercury retrograde, everything is going to go wrong. Well, we manifest what we believe, what we think, what we say. We manifest. This is how we create our reality. So it's really important to know to be careful, be aware of what we're saying, be aware of what we're thinking, be aware of what our belief systems are, because this is how we change. We have to be aware of it. And if it's not serving us, change it so that we can create the kind of reality that is supportive and loving, because we all deserve that in our lives. So again, Mercury has to do with having potential disruptions in communication, technology, and travel. So we're coming down, ending that cycle pretty soon. Now, kind of the bad news is Mercury retrograde has a shadow period, about 7 to 10 days prior to it going retrograde and 7 to 10 days after it goes direct. So you'll still have some little issues that last week. But if you're looking to sign any contracts or do any uh, major starts to anything, after 7:07 a.m. on April 7th is when you want to do it. Okay, so that's what I've got for you as far as the astrological news. Now let's go more into the cosmos and talk about UFO and UAP disclosure. So the latest news I have, and okay. And Bruce Davis says hello. He's watching, I guess, on YouTube. Thank you for the heart, Bruce. Appreciate it. So let's talk about UFO and UAP disclosure. So the big news is that Dr. Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer, he has a podcast now on YouTube. And here's the tiny URL to get to his playlist of all the podcasts. So what's happened is episode 9 just released or launched in the last 24 hours. And I have a little clip to play for you about that particular episode. He actually is joined by a special guest, Michael Herrera, who is a former Marine who encountered an operation involving a man-made UAP in the Indonesian jungle in 2009, and he's been featured on several of the movies and also testimonies before Congress. And so if you're not aware of it, our government and other secret agencies have UAP technology that they've tried to reverse engineer. And while doing that, they created man-made UFOs or UAPs, or kind of our version of their ET craft. And what some of these rogue groups have been doing, according to Dr. Greer, is that they have been involved, and this is not just the United States, this is like a transnational organization that has been doing this for quite some time now. And he alleges that they're involved in human trafficking and drug running and all kinds of illegal and unconstitutional operations. The thing, and the human trafficking that they're doing has to do with the psionics. If you've been following this, you may know that the government and certain agencies have been using people who are psychic. They call it psionic. Of course, they have to have a different word so it's not so woo-woo, even though we're still talking about the same thing, just different words for different things. So these psionic assets, what they do, they've gone to places like Indonesia that have a disaster of some side, earthquake, just like we're having right now. And they go in, and the people, the children that show signs or are psychic of some at some level, they give them an opportunity to work with the government and, you know, try to communicate with these ET craft because they have the psionic ability, the psychic ability. The problem is they, um, the government and these agencies dope them up, use all kinds of drugs and other things to try to enhance, I guess, their psychic ability. And if you're familiar with other things that our governments have done in the past, it's not a good thing. So these people, so human trafficking has happened because of these man-made UAP. It's kind of part of a false flag operation, because these entities that want to control us through fear want to use this UFO phenomena as a way for us to be fearful and to control us as society, as people on the earth. So this is what Dr. Greer has been about: disclosure, UFO disclosure. So let me go ahead and play that sound bite right here. Here we go. Here it is.
There's some developments in the last 2 weeks I can't speak about that would indicate that things are moving in a good direction, right? And my hope is that we'll actually begin to see some real changes with these investigations that are going on. Not what you're hearing about in Congress. I mean, the Congress at this point and the nonsense going on with the people trotting up there telling half-truths, lies, and nonsense. That's not going to go anywhere. But on a level of federal investigation, law enforcement, prosecution, etc., there is significant movement because they now realize these programs really are illegal. Basically, what we concluded by 1994, we had concluded these were illegal operations, and now they're going, yeah, they are. And so that's another reason why we're saying a big announcement here. Anyone who has any information on this, corporate, government contractor, military, other government agencies, currently or in the past, you can be fully immunized against all prosecution, no matter what, if you provide full disclosure of everything you know, the people involved, the locations, etc. And that is now on the table, operational. I will say that the flip side of it is people who are in those programs or have been in them who do not cooperate can be arrested and charged under RICO, Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization, as a co-conspirator and as having been involved, even if you didn't know the program was illegal. One of the things about RICO, the left hand doesn't have to know what the right hand's doing. So at this point, I'm telling people you need to come forward. There's protection in place. We will provide you direct to the people who can provide that immunization federally against all crimes and also protect you. But it needs to start picking up steam. I'm making a call and a request for more people to step forward because this is how it happens. So it has to be a big network of people, and it can't be 2 or 3 people. It needs to be dozens, if not hundreds of people come forward from all these different facilities, corporations, highly compartmented operations in the government. Now I'm speaking now of US, but it can be overseas US, right? So it extends overseas if it's the United States, but there is no similar investigatory or criminal pursuit going on in other countries that I'm aware of. If they're going on, I don't know about them.
So that's a little bit from the episode. And again, here is the tiny URL that you can go to get to that episode. So I have a comment from Tim Riley. And Tim Riley is saying the illegal operations within the national security state must be disarmed and controlled to provide humanity with the truth and the technology that can move us forward onto a positive timeline. So thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. So I believe Tim and Bruce are both part of the, just as I am, of the Citizens for Disclosure. So I have kind of an exciting little exercise for us to do today. So Citizens for Disclosure is the citizens part or arm of the New Paradigm Institute that Dr. Stephen Greer has worked with, but is mostly led by Danny Sheehan. So one of the activities that we're responsible for is reaching out to our congresspeople so that we can put the pressure on our government to disclose, about the UAPs and UAP disclosure. Sorry, I'm getting a yes from Bruce Davis. So thank you, Bruce. So let me get back to my train of thought here. So, as part of Citizens for Disclosure, we are having a campaign to reach out to all of our congressmen. And I figured I would do this to demonstrate and to encourage you to do the same. So, the call to action from Citizens Disclosure is that we need your help to promote transparency of the UAP Disclosure Bill. There is a bill that's there, but not all of the Congress knows about it. The ones that have worked on it and on these particular congressional teams and stuff, they are aware, but a lot of the people do not know about it. So Danny Sheehan and some of the other New Paradigm Institute are actively lobbying as we speak right now in Washington, D.C., getting it from that end, meeting with all these senators and staffers and all of that. So on our end, as citizens, we have the opportunity to call our congresspeople and ask them, what is their stance on this particular issue? And because the way our government works, they need the pressure from us. It's a two-way thing. There's the lobbyist part of it, but there's also the people. So when the people are rising up, when we're making noise, when we're being the squeaky wheel, they listen. And this is what we have to do. Just like Dr. Greer is asking, if you're a whistleblower, a potential whistleblower, if you are part of any of these illegal, unconstitutional operations, whether from the aircraft industry, I'm like getting the right words, the like Lockheed Martin and those aerospace companies that the government had contracted with. If you're in any of that, or in the military and have been part of these illegal operations, now is the time to come forward. And the way you come forward, go to drstephengreer.com or go to the New Paradigm Institute.org. But for our particular exercise that I'm going to do now, and I'm actually going to call my Congress person, actually my senator. I've already called two of them, my two, one senator and Senator Moody, and also Representative Castor from Florida, because that's where I'm registered to vote. And I have a little script here, so let me add that to the stage, and I'm going to pull mine up. So I'm going to call right now my congressman, and I did call earlier. More than likely, we're going to get a recording, so that'll be easy. But if we get a person, yay. Of the two calls I did earlier, one was a person and one was a recording. So we'll see if we'll get an answer from Senator Rick Scott.
You have reached the office of Senator Rick Scott, Florida. Our normal business hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you are hearing this message within those hours, we apologize as we are busy assisting other constituents. If you would like to leave your legislative opinion after the tone, please include your name and the zip code in Florida you are calling from. If you have a message for a specific staffer, please include your name, phone number, and the brief message. Someone will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for calling the office of Senator Rick Scott. Have a great day.
Hello, Senator Rick Scott. My name is Leslie Klein, and I'm a constituent from Odessa, Florida, zip code 33556. And I'm calling today to discuss a crucial issue that concerns both our national security and scientific progress, the UAP Disclosure Bill. We believe this legislation is vital for promoting transparency about unidentified aerial phenomena. It's important for public knowledge and understanding. I would ask Rick Scott, Senator Rick Scott, to support this bill by co-sponsoring it, voting in favor, or making a public endorsement. The support from our leaders is essential in bringing about transparency. This bill will help ensure that all findings related to UAP are shared openly, which is critical for informed decision making and advancing our understanding of these phenomena. Could you please let Senator Rick Scott know? Could you please let me know what Senator Rick Scott's current stand is on this issue and whether they plan to support the UAP Disclosure Bill? If you need more details or further information about the importance of this bill, I am more than willing to provide it to you or to direct you to relevant sources. So thank you for allowing me to give you this message.
You've reached the maximum length for a recording. To send this message, press pound or hang up. To play it, your message.
Okay, so there you go. I ran out of time, but I used up used up all the time there. But that's all you have to do. So what? It took me up a minute or less. I don't like doing phone calls, so this was a little out of my comfort zone to do this, especially doing it in front of you guys. But it's all for the cause that we're here for. In the UAP Disclosure Bill, they also have protections for the whistleblowers. So it's very important that our legal system does protect the whistleblowers that will be coming out. So again, newparadigminstitute.org is where you want to go to learn more, to become a volunteer. You just sign up for their email list. And it's so easy. And then you'll get emails from Danny Sheehan as well and be part of it. So I hope, and also I didn't let you know how to find out who your congresspeople are. Just go to congress.gov, put your zip code or your address in there, then you'll know exactly who your congresspeople are. So I got a couple of comments here. Oh, thank you. Bruce says you did amazing. Thank you. And well done. I'm going to shorten that script for myself and make it more punchy. Yes. The script is something that we can make our own, but for just time purposes, I just read it directly. But anyway, the main thing is that they're getting the message. So, my friends, that's what I've got. Now, if you would like the actual script here, so it's hard to read, I will put it in the description on the YouTube channel, but you can just email me at leslie@good-vibes.tv, and I'd be happy to send you the script and even help you find your congresspeople, because this is real important to do now and through the month of April, because we are actively lobbying our congresspeople, Danny Sheehan and the staff are. So please be part of it if you feel led to doing that. And I appreciate you guys for bearing with me on that one. All right. So now it's time for the Oracle of the Month. And with a new month, I have a new Oracle deck that I will be playing with you and learning about. So this one is called Healing the Inner Child Oracle Deck by Nina Mongendre. I'm not quite sure how to say her name, and I didn't get a chance to check on Google for that. So while we are getting ready here, let me show you what the box looks like. So this is the Healing the Inner Child deck, and this is the inside of the box. No matter what your childhood was like, it's never too late to heal. So just a little bit about this Oracle deck. Let me read you before we pull a card. It says, embark on a transformative journey toward wholeness and healing with the Healing the Inner Child Oracle. Immerse yourself in vibrant, evocative artwork that resonates deeply with your inner child. The accompanying guidebook offers insightful reflections, healing affirmations, and guided visualizations serving as your compass on the path to inner peace. This Oracle deck provides practical techniques to calm your nervous system, cultivate resilience, and nurture the acceptance and care your inner child yearns for. Uncover the essence of inner child healing as you discover the joy, innocence, and love that are your birthright. So let us pick a card for all of us watching right now. And even if you're watching on the replay, what message does Spirit have for us? And the card that I am getting is limiting belief. How interesting, because I was talking about that earlier in the broadcast. So 32. Let's see what limiting beliefs is all about. Invitation. This card comes as a confirmation that you are not a prisoner of your childhood. You are only trapped by the beliefs you have built around your experience of childhood. As Carl Jung said, when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. Until we bring our unconscious limiting beliefs into the light of our awareness, they will be impacting our lives in insidious ways, excuse me. Baby elephants tethered to a picket with a rope do not know that they can easily break free as adults. Their strength would be all that is required, but they believe it's impossible because in their youth they could not break free from the tether. We are not so different from these domesticated elephants. We believe what we are told, what we were told, and we abide by the mental constructs that emerge. We keep ourselves trapped by these narrow beliefs, limiting our freedom and fulfillment. It is time to break free from these tethers now. So, the message for the inner child is, how does your inner child feel about this card? Notice what is keeping them in a cage. What are the thoughts and fears that prevent your inner child from stepping out of the cage and following their yearning to be free? What are the limiting beliefs you accepted as your own? Do you believe yourself to be too emotional, um, lazy, disorganized, a failure, a fraud, unlovable? What does the internal critic tell you? Write down all of the limiting beliefs down on a piece of paper and burn it, releasing these beliefs back to their source through the rapid transformation of fire. Acknowledge that your parents or caregivers also had their own internal critic, and they did the best they could, but it's up to you now to step out of this cage. Say out loud, these are no longer my beliefs. From now on, I choose what I believe. And this last part is called the journey. As you look at the little girl in this image, does it seem possible for her to step out of the cage, or is she truly trapped? Are the bars wide enough to let her out? Have you created a mental cage from which you could break free? Journey into this card and imagine the reasons you might be staying in a cage, looking out at a world and the possibilities that surround you. What is the hidden benefit of staying in a place that is familiar? We often are afraid of change and have grown comfortable with the limitations, beliefs, and habits we grew up with. If you want to break free and step out of this cage, know that it will initially require courage and some discomfort, but you have all the resources needed within your reach. It is a choice you have the power to make, and this card is telling you the time is now. So, how appropriate that that card came up today as I was talking about our mental belief system and how that really does create our reality. So, how interesting is that? If you have any comments, and we do have a comment. So, Trent, yep. Uh, Tim Riley says, breaking free now. Keep on, keep on being awesome. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. And you do too. Thank you. I really do appreciate all the people that have become volunteers for the Citizens for Disclosure. You know, there's many things that we can spend our time on. And there are hundreds of people who are across the country in every state that have volunteered to be part of the Citizens for Disclosure movement. And, this is something that is important right now because, disclosure is going to happen on many different levels. And it's just really important to be aware of it. All right. So that is the Oracle of the month, and we will play with that a little bit more. If you like this deck, please shop my Amazon store. And all you have to do to get to that is just go to good-vibes.tv. All right. And as I was talking about earlier, I had forgotten that I had this special event that's happening next week, which I will talk about next week. But I've been hosting a webinar called Longevity with Light, and it's all about this light technology by LifeWave. And one of the main things that it does is that it activates the stem cells within our body. So if you're interested in registering for this webinar, it's free and it's only a half hour long. This will be on April 10th. It's a Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So just go to this tinyurl.com/longevity APR 2025, and the L and the A are capitalized. And I will put that in the description. Another event that's coming up soon on April 7th through the 9th is a publicity breakthrough challenge that Jill Lublin, my favorite PR publicist, PR expert, she's having next week. And this particular one only costs $1. And during this challenge, Jill will help you create your message and tell you how you can get it in front of your audience. So if you long to understand and know how publicity works from an insider's point of view, you want to attend this 3-day event. And here is the tiny URL. You can get to it, tinyurl.com/GVTV PR challenge. So this is a great way to get some free PR, free publicity, transform your message, and get more media to your business or whatever cause that you have. So make sure you check out this publicity breakthrough challenge. All right. And next, let's talk about another fun event that's coming up with called the Magic of Manifestation Challenge by Mia Magic. She is a Wiccan, and she is doing this Magic of Manifestation Challenge by Mia Magic on April 7th through the 15th, so for a whole week. And here's the specific information, or the tiny URL to get to that, tinyurl.com/GVTV manifestation. So in this manifestation challenge, she will take you through all kinds of different exercises to manifest using very ancient work, knowledge that has been around for for a long, long time that we've forgotten, that we've lost. Wicca is an earth religion. And again, it's about being in tune with nature. So I haven't taken this challenge before, but I am planning on going. So if you are there, going to be there, please reach out and do a shout out for me. All right. So that is what I've got there. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about spiritual activism. So what is spiritual activism? And I actually asked ChatGPT about it, and ChatGPT said spiritual activism integrates personal spiritual growth with social and political activism, emphasizing that inner transformation and societal change are interconnected. We are all one, right? We're all connected. What one does, when one suffers, all suffer. When one does well, all do well. So that was my little editorial part. ChatGPT says spiritual activism encourages actions rooted in compassion, empathy, and love to promote justice and sustainability, recognizing the unity of all beings. So again, like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So one thing that happened last week, or just a couple of days ago, is Lynn McTaggart. If you're not familiar with her, Google her. She did a little 10-minute, 15-minute, I think it was just a 10-minute peace intention on the 1st, and she's going to do these monthly. So just Google Lynn I think her website just lynnmctaggart.com, and you can learn more about those. So that's, there are many different forms of activism, and my basic recommendation is to go within, and see what you're drawn to do. See what inspired action you get from your guidance to do, whether that's calling Congress and, advocating for UAP disclosure, or going, doing an economic boycott, or writing your Congress people about what's happening in the government that you're not happy with, or going out in the streets and protesting peaceably protesting. It's part of our Constitution. It's part of our rights, part of what makes us Americans. Um, you know, we're at an interesting time right now, and I think it's very important for every American to get involved with their government, um, and in whatever way you feel led to. And another way, way of spiritual activism, is actually to meditate and do these peace intentions. Um, Pam Gregory, I've mentioned her many times. She's an astrologer, and she's put out there that everyone, just for 15 minutes, send love and light to the planet every Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. It's like 7 o'clock in the UK where she's at. Then she expanded that to doing it every day. So I have a little timer that goes off 5 minutes to 2 every day to remind me to do that. Now, do I do it every day? No. I try to definitely do it on Sundays and as I'm able to based on my schedule throughout the week. So this might be another little way that you can be active to practice activism, and being spiritual about it as well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's important to me, and I just want to share. I can only be authentic about what I think is, um, important. So, my friends, it is time for the tip of the week to raise our vibration. So, last week's tip of the week was to write down 3 to 5 new moon intentions and meditate on them during the solar eclipse new moon, which happened last Saturday. So, did you do it? Love to hear in the comments. Did you do it? What are your intentions if you want to share them? And this is a great way to raise your vibration using the energies around us. Now, this week's tip is to unplug. Unplug from all your devices, from the computer to the phone. Just turn it off and be still for just 15 minutes. Go out into nature, sit in the parks, sit in your backyard, in your garden. Just go, or just in your room, just turn off all the distractions and just be still for 15 minutes and just see what that's like because we are so distracted by so much information and it weighs us down. And a lot of that, talking on the news or the television, if we're not filtering it, it can be very distracting and low vibing and pulling us down. So it's important, I think, for us to detach, to unplug, and just be still, be with us, and see what inspirations you get from doing that. So, my friends, that's the tip of the week for this week, and I hope it inspires you to do that. I want to thank you for watching, and if you did get some value from this content, I would ask that you share it with your friends, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Good Vibes TV, and if you want to use the handle, it's at Raise Your Vibe and Thrive, or just go to good-vibes.tv and you can just click on there and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel. So I want to thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for your comments, and I hope you have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat station.